What will your life in 2023 look like? And this is a really good question to ask yourself around this time of the year. And it would allow you to start planning for how you want your life to look like going into this new year. Now, many people are going to decide to have the same 2023 that they had in 2022, which is going to resemble what they had in 2019, which is going to resemble what they had in 2010. There's not going to be much difference year to year. And that's because they haven't really decided to do anything different. They're in a pattern, and that pattern works for them. And therefore, year to year, nothing really changes in their life. We're also going to have a large amount of people that are going to decide to stay even more entrenched in the cesspool that they're in. And the reason why they're going to stay in that cesspool is because they have all the amenities that they desire. They have internet access. They have food. They have water. They have shelter. They have access to sex. They have access to what they consider to be relationships. And as a result, they're going to just stay in that cesspool. And then what they're going to do is they're going to signal out to people using their devices, using their access to try to recruit or influence more people to come into the cesspool with them. And I'm perfectly fine with that because this is a decision that people are making every day they wake up and they decide to remain in the cesspool. And the cesspool will only continue to get bigger and bigger over time to accommodate more people because that's what it's designed to do. And you're going to have people that are going to make that decision all throughout 2023 to just stay in the cesspool. Now, if you're not in the cesspool, however, you have not really decided how you want your 2023 to look, I want to really get you to observe this. Over the past week, we've seen these stories come out. Deion Sanders goes to Boulder, Colorado. This became an extremely hot story across the mainstream news, and everybody spent a lot of time being fixated on this story. Then we had Brittany Griner being released. This story came out later this week, and they tried to make this the hot story for the week. Now, what just recently came out is that media personality or relationship coach Derek Jackson announced that he's going to get a divorce from his wife. And they're going to try to roll this into next week, or really this week, and make this the hot story for the week. And they're going to kind of see how that works. So we have national, we also have localized niche, but the goal is to continue to present stories to the public. Keep them entertained, keep them influenced, allow them to elect to stay in the cesspool, allow them to elect to have the same life that they had over the past decade. Because this is what is going to allow them to get emotional fulfillment. It gives them something to focus on that has nothing to do with their real life. Now, you got to realize is that this is all pre-planned. These stories often do not come out organically. They're determined by groups of people. What's the next big story for the masses? And then we can break it down into segments. We can break it down into subgroups. But what is going to be the next big story that we're going to present to people to get them preoccupied with that? And therefore, that becomes the most important thing in their life. And we just have to figure out frequency, things of that nature, to make sure that they always stay in that particular pattern. But let me expose you to something different that a subculture or a smaller part of the population, but it's going to be a very important part of the population, are going to be concerned with going into this next week. What we're going to have is the FOMC meeting. And this meeting and the information coming out of this meeting is going to really tell us where we're going economically going into the new year. And then all the financial markets are going to kind of determine how they're going to conduct themselves. And then that's going to sift through our economy, and it's going to start to impact our everyday average person. Sometimes we would call that Main Street. And many of them are not going to understand why their life is being impacted the way it is because they're not aware of this type of news. And they're also not aware of how this type of news impacts their life. What we're also going to have coming out this week is going to be the CPI data. And that CPI data is going to really let people understand how the country's doing economically and how economic policy may need to change to continue to steer the country in the direction that they want to. And then people are going to take that information, they're going to act on it. They're not going to just post on the internet. They're not going to just find a reason to argue. They're not going to just give their opinion. They're going to see the opportunity in the information, and they're going to act on it with the goal of improving the economic position for themselves and their group. And that's the person that I want to reach out to. If you're tired of just being fed news that really doesn't do anything for you except give you a momentary dopamine hit, right? If you're in the cesspool, I don't think you're going to be a good fit for our community until you decide to get out of the cesspool for an extended period of time. However, the person that is tired of just being fed news that's designed to give them a dopamine hit, and each time the actual satisfaction from that dopamine hit gets shorter and shorter and shorter to where you start to kind of become numb to everything around you. There's a different way you can kind of understand what's going on around the world, but you just have to make a decision to change your life and to want to empower yourself financially, first with the understanding and then the ability to act on your life in a positive way financially that's not as passive as maybe what you've been told historically is the way to do it. We have an offer for you. We're going to offer you our highest paid part-time job in the world. That's going to be our core options course. You're going to get 20% off. That's going to be a 7-day sale. That's the lowest sale we've had all year. And it would also be the lowest sale that we're going to have going to the end of this year into 2023 because we're going to raise the price of 2023. However, we're going to give you an opportunity to get in at the lowest price this year. Also going to be the lowest price for 2023 because we're going to raise the price first quarter 2023. And you can start putting yourself in a position to empower yourself. And that's going to be the ideal customer for what we're doing. You're the person where you actually, in real life, not just on the internet, not in the fantasy world, not on the Dungeons and Dragons board, but you actually want to be empowered. You actually want to be an advocate for your own success, and you want to participate in your success. You're not looking for someone else to help you arrive at the success story. Here is what you get when you purchase the highest paid part-time job in the world options trading course, or what we often call the core course. You get over 15 straight to the point modules. That's going to give you around a 5K value based on the content that's going to be presented to you. You get 1 hour of one-on-one consulting. In my opinion, that's around a $500 value. You get a bi-monthly live stream for you to talk about the markets. You can ask questions. I often can respond back either at that time or at a later date. I will make sure I answer your question based on my time per hour and the amount of time that I've been doing this for the year. Just for the year, that's around a $7,200 value. We've been doing this pretty much all this year. We're going to roll this into next year. And so I don't get paid for the time that I spend on the live stream. That dollar amount does not come on the cost of the course. That's what I'm putting into the community to try to put people in the best position to be successful, because the goal is to produce successful traders and the goal is to produce empowered people. Then you get a Discord group for the traders. In my opinion, that's a priceless value because you get to communicate in the community of people that are on the same page you're on. And what you'll find is that the more serious people that really see the value out of that Discord group, they start engaging. As opposed to just waiting for somebody to give them the answer, they start engaging the group. And that's how you build community. And that's how people really start to understand I can be successful in this space because I'm talking to people every day that are also successful. The ability to create the life that you desire because of your skill set. To me, that value is going to be priceless, right? 5 years ago, I could not take information and understand how that information can make me money. I just had no idea. Now, when I see something going on in the world, I immediately can start to connect the dots as to how this situation can make me profitable because I understand how it's going to impact the financial markets. I understand how it's going to impact how other people are going to perceive the financial markets. And to me, that skill set is priceless. It's a priceless skill set to have, unlike where I need somebody to tell me, yes, okay, you can make money. I need somebody to tell me, okay, I will buy something from you because I agree with it. This is going to be a 7-day sale, and that discount percentage will drop to a lower tier after those 7 days. Then we're going to go to a lower tier. We're going to continue to roll this out through the month of December because the goal is to try to get as many people this opportunity before we close the door on it. So this is what we're getting ready to roll out. It started yesterday. We're going to roll this out for 7 more days. We're going to change the percentage to another percentage, and we're going to keep moving. Regardless of what percentage you're getting in, the value that you're getting is going to be way greater than the price. The skill set that you're going to be able to develop, if you stick with it, is going to be very, very valuable in comparison to the price that you pay. You just have to decide that you're the right person. And once again, you want to be empowered. You want to have some level of autonomy. You don't want to be passive. You want to be involved in your success, and you're not looking for an overnight situation. So I want to encourage you to decide what you want your 2023 to look like and make a decision that's going to be the best situation for you and your family and your group. David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I'll talk to you later.